So I was gone yesterday, and boy, did everything explode. So Heihachi finally comes out. Everybody's excited. And he comes out with a new stage. You guys may have seen this, right? So a new stage, the Genmaji Temple for Heihachi, which is locked even if you purchase the season pass that includes Heihachi. So like, if you have the season pass, or if you have even the ultimate pass of the game, this stage is locked. I talk about this a lot, about how expensive fighting games are and our DLC practices compared to other games. They are so expensive, right? So you pay $100 for the game and 4 characters and the ultimate pass, and you don't get the stage. People were really mad at, especially because Lydia came out and she had a stage with her, and like the stage came included and you got the stage, and then now Heihachi comes out and he doesn't have a stage, and people are like, what? A lot of people were really upset. You saw Fee and like a lot of people were talking about this on Twitter. Selling the stage for $5 or whatever the stage cost is makes everybody so mad that Heihachi came out, and all I saw people talking about was how much they hate Bandai Namco for charging for this and how they don't care about them. I think the damage from doing this is like pretty severe, and like people are pretty unhappy, to the point where Harada made like a long tweet, and the tweet was like, to sum it up, he basically said, I used to be like the guy who looked at stuff like this, and then I'm not doing that anymore as much. They fucked up. That's my bad. I'll keep an eye on it. But I don't know if they're going to change it. I don't think they've said anything. Now, here's the deal about this. Like, why is it such a big deal that this stage, you got to pay for it or whatever? First of all, I think buying a season pass and then not getting the stages feels pretty bad. But second of all, the stages in Tekken matter, okay? Like in Street Fighter, not having the new stage literally doesn't matter. The new stage is like a JPEG in the background, right? Or like it's like more like a GIF, I guess, just visual. And that's how most games are, right? But in 3D fighting games, and in this game in particular, the stage actually does matter, because like it's a stage that is selectable and has dimensions, and like it impacts gameplay, and like whether it has wall breaks or floor breaks or the sides of the stage, all this are really important. And it's particularly important because this stage not being unlocked by default and you needing to buy it. What happens when you do like matches online that are tournament matches and you and your opponent both don't own the new stage, and you both random select and you can't get the new stage because of it or something? What happens when there's like 2 stages like that, 3 stages, 4 stages, 5 stages? Like, is your dojo TWT legal if you don't own this stage on all of the machines? Like, don't you have to buy this on all the machines now to like make it consistent with the TWT? Because you could have been random selecting this. The same could be said about DLC characters. The difference is DLC characters, like, it depends on if somebody plays them or not. So like, I don't know if you've ever been to a local. Most of the time, not every machine will have all the DLC, right? Like, they'll be like, your tournament organizer will be like, hey, if you play the DLC, like these 2 setups have it. But that matters less because it's not random. Like, you know what character you're gonna pick. Whereas like a stage matters for every single match, right? They could just make it not count for RNG, and then you could pick whatever version of it you want, I guess, right? They could just do it that way, but I don't know if it's coded that way in the game or not. I don't know if they know either. This practice is concerning because the stages should just be free, I think. I know it sucks for them wanting to charge stuff, etc., whatever. They want to make money on their game. Stages that impact gameplay, in this case, I think should be free. If you want to sell stages in Tekken, I think you just like sell different versions of stages that already exist. You have to sell stuff that's like purely cosmetic, I think. And it has to not count for like the stage RNG random stuff. But even still, I think people are just pissed because why is the season pass not including the stages? I don't know, man. It definitely feels like it should. Heihachi's stage not being included with the season pass with Heihachi feels bad. And I think the pushback on this is going to make them probably reevaluate a bit. But it is very frustrating, I think, for basically everybody. It sucks, man. It like doesn't feel good. And I think in general, anything that affects gameplay, like SK made a tweet about it recently, and people were like, why, that's a good point. Sajam, you should talk about this. Not being able to training mode against the characters that are DLC in the game. That's been a complaint that fighting game players have had for the last, I don't even know how long, since there's been DLC. Like, if you want to learn how to beat Heihachi, you need to buy Heihachi. And I mean, even in this game, you couldn't do replay takeover. You still can't, right? You can't replay takeover against the DLC characters ever. So you can't use that. In Street Fighter 6, my understanding is that you can replay takeover against DLC, but you just can't pick the DLC, which is still a little weird. But you can do the replay takeover and play your own character, or like the character you own, but not the DLC character you don't own, which is better, but still kind of funny. It's like, dude, come on. It is very weird. The monetization is just very weird. If you want to buy Tekken, spending $70 or whatever the game is, plus the $25 or whatever the cost is season pass, then having to buy stages on top of it and stuff, it gets very expensive to keep up and have the content in the game. Like, needing to spend 105 or 110 or whatever to like have the content that keeps you tournament ready for the video game. That's a lot of money. I mean, like, I'm not gonna buy the stage. I don't want to buy it. And you look at the monetization of other competitive games, they're all free to play or like cheap, like 10, 15, 20 bucks or whatever, right? And then they just sell cosmetics, right? Like that's what they do. By comparison, I think fighting games are pretty expensive for most people. Like you can buy a $10 skin once every like month or two in a free to play game and spend less money than fighting games because they sell a $25 season pass on top of a $70 game on top of another $25 season pass, like X amount of time in. And that's not counting ever leaving your house to play the game and like travel to events or do anything else, which is like one of the fun parts about fighting games, right? And then that's not counting any cosmetics they sell on the game. Even just buying the costumes in Street Fighter 6, you can't buy a bundle that's like 25 bucks and you get a bundle for all the characters in the game. It's like $100 to buy all the costumes in Street Fighter 6. And I saw how expensive the costumes were and that I couldn't buy them in like a big bundle. And I had to buy like made up dollary dues and X amounts. They do it over and over. And I haven't bought a single costume. I want to spend money on their game. I'm down. But like, why don't you just sell me it like normal? Fighting game monetization is very weird, man. I just don't get it. Like in the last game, you could spend 15 bucks and get these 6 character outfits, which are really cool, by the way. I'm aware that in this game, the like way they make costumes is harder for them than in the other game. But like, I want to give you money, Capcom, because I like their game a lot. I play their game constantly, and I would love to give them more money for more outfits. Now? I do think this is cool, though. I'll probably go do this today. This doesn't cost you any money. You go to the Battle Hub and you play matches, and you can vote for your favorite characters and get all of these colors for free in the Battle Hub. And I would love them to keep doing things like this because I think these are super cool. But I also want costumes to buy. This goes back to the conversation we had about Tuco. It's going to be free to play, and I'm sure they're going to charge $1 million for all their millions of cosmetics, and everybody's going to buy it. Culture around cosmetics is so different for other games. If you go play another game and your gun skins are like default or crusty looking, like you just have like whack skins, people make fun of you for having whack skins. They're like, you broke ass, you don't got the new bundle, or you don't got this, or you don't have that, or like people make fun of you. People ask you too, like when you play Valorant, they will ask you what your gun skin is. They'll buy you your guns so they can use your gun skin if you have a cool skin, if they got no drip. It is so funny to think about. Anyway, the monetization sucks, man. As always, fighting game companies are not very good at monetizing. It's very annoying.